Welcome to Live from the Living Room. This is part 2 of our love series. We would like to thank you all for tuning in, where we bring real conversation from one living room to another, or wherever you're watching this right now. I have a few of my best friends and brothers along here with me. Y'all can start from the top and introduce yourselves.
My stage name or my real name?
Whatever you want to give them, bro.
They know me as Corey, but I go by Bounce God, DJ Bounce God.
My name is Brandon, aka Balmore.
I'm Mike. That's it, straight like that. Yeah, I can't do this, bro. Nah, you good, bro. And yeah, I'm Daryl, just Daryl. So basically, what we wanted to talk about today, since Valentine's Day is quickly approaching, first question I wanted to ask y'all is, what's y'all definition of love, or what is love to you guys? Because everybody got a different definition.
It's it's so big of a word. It's hard to put it in meaning, but one thing that's coming to mind right now, love is something that you don't mind struggling with. Because there's going to be some days where some you love, or a person or whatever might be, there's going to be more days where it's like a struggle, then I feel as though it's a triumph. Okay. But the days of triumph it makes it everything worth it. So that's my perspective of love right now.
Like I used to think love was a feeling that you have for somebody, and life has kind of shown me that it might not be that. I think it's something closer to like a list of those intangibles, that it becomes like things that you're willing to do for somebody's happiness, the things that you can't touch or feel, but sometimes, being willing to make yourself smaller for somebody else's well-being, as opposed to love is that school of thought where it's like love is a feeling I have for you. In my experience, it's starting to show me that most of the time love is an action,
Love is just hard work, you know what I'm saying? It ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to go through the ups and downs with a person. It's all about unity, being one, being able to tolerate and put up with someone's, bullshit or whatnot. But, you take it day by day, and it's not, like I said, it ain't easy like everyone think it is, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to make sacrifices and all that stuff.
Okay. I think those are all great points that y'all all independently rose. Like, really, I kind of feel like it's the same. It's a combination of all of that. It's definitely humility in it. Like you brought up a point of raising other people up over yourself. I think it's recognizing that it's a team. Like Mike said too, unity. It's not like a me versus you thing. It's a us thing. You know what I'm saying? Or if the team ain't right, nobody wins. You know what I'm saying? It's not an I win or a you win. It's we win or we don't win. That's it. But I think it's a combination of everything that y'all said. So like with that being established, do y'all think that like the women of this generation understand what love is?
No. That's not it at all. I think they romanticize, they love. They look at, people in their life who they assume are in a deep love, or their grandparents' connection or whatever, or the way their parents might love each other, or their friends' parents might love each other, or people on TV might love each other, and they romanticize that. And then when they're faced with the prospect of an actual human being with their own thoughts and emotion and prerogative, they force that idea on other people. And I'm making it sound negative, but it's just something that happened. So I think they have an idea in the same way that we have an idea of what love is, and we go into a situation blind and hoping that somebody's idea of love matches our own. And that's where a lot of the disconnect comes into play.
Yeah, and I think that plays a part in the communication, because like growing up, I feel like love was portrayed to me a different way than maybe the usual person. So the way I love, you might not understand it. So, like for example, with y'all, I haven't seen y'all in 2 months. I still love y'all to death. I still pop up at your show. You know what I'm saying? I still get y'all up. But to other people, somebody might, yo, why I haven't seen you in so long? But to me, like, I can't.
That's not how you
Oh
do it.
yeah, like
It's
it's times where I haven't seen my family in years, and then we link up, and then it's like I seen him last week. So like it's all about the communication. Like I feel like we have to start communicating as a generation. Like I love this way, and you show me how you love, and then
I think what you said is big. So with that, I'm gonna just throw in another one. Do y'all think this generation doesn't understand what love is because we aren't honest about what we feel love is? Like we aren't honest with the other side, or even with in our friendships or in our families. Like, is honesty a key component for love to actually exist?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You gotta be honest always. You know, you can't keep secrets. You always gotta be honest with your partner. You know what I'm saying? If you quiet and don't want to talk about issues and stuff, it ain't gonna work because it takes a one. You know what I'm saying? Both people, they gotta like communicate. You know, and people got insecurities. You know what I'm saying? They carry that into relationships or whatnot. And that's what makes it hard. You know, it's okay to be open and honest, and sometimes it's gonna take some time to be open and honest with your partner. But you know, it's like it's a struggle sometimes. You know, if people don't want to talk about anything, like, and then they end up like breaking it off, and you know what I'm saying, like people they've been through so many situations in their life, you know, and like they carry the baggage to other relationships, and then it's like they see something happen, then they just like, you know what, I don't want to deal with it. I'm going about my merry way, and shit like that. But I don't know, man. Like you said, it's just about communication.
Yeah, but and then on top of that, it's not like I think a lot of it gets lost in translation. Like it's not like someone's trying to hide what they need from you. You know, I think if people were to approach it less from the standpoint of this is what I need from you, and kind of say, in order for me to feel loved, I need you to do this. I think the conversation and the tone of the conversation would be a lot different. But when someone tells you what they need, but they're also telling you what they want, it's hard to differentiate between the wants and the needs. But you know, men don't ever tell a woman, in order to feel loved, I need this from you. We don't ever talk to women like that.
That's the truth.
And women don't tell me. Women will say, I mean, this is what I need, or this is not gonna work. But both of those statements aren't what the fact of the matter. That's not what the meat of the issue is. And the meat of the issue is, if you walk up to somebody who you expecting something from, and they're not giving it to you, we get upset.
Right.
As opposed to approaching them from a point of understanding, because they might not be in that scenario before. So you say, if we were to slow things down and say, I'm not feeling the kind of love from you I need, the kind of love I'm used to experiencing, and in order to feel that, I need this from you. You know what I'm saying?
I think.
So it's I think it's in my experience, it's always boiled down to communication, and with all the fair relationships, when the temper is cool, and we're able to approach it from a standpoint of just being calm and relaxed.
Right.
Those recap conversations be the most insightful, because like it's just like, well, that's all you ever had to say.
Okay.
You know.
So with all of the different definitions that people may have of love, and then the misunderstandings that we may have because of that, do y'all believe that our definitions of love can distort our reality? And if so, why?
That was a deep jam. I don't think. When you say reality, what do you mean?
So, by our definitions of love, can it affect how we react to things that are really going on? So, say for an example, you have a single mother who's raising a child on her own. She loves her child, will do anything for her child. There is a man that she's involved with that doesn't treat her the way she would want to be treated, but he's providing financial stability. does she really love him, or is it just because she needs the financial stability that she stays? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So her viewpoint of love is also wrapped in the fact that she has a child to take care of. Despite knowing that he does not treat her the way she would like to be treated or wants to be treated, needs still have to be met. And right now she can't do it on her own. But she justifies it by saying, I love him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in our situations, in our friendships, family, and in our relationships, can our viewpoint of love or our definition of love distort our reality? Basically, can I stay in something thinking that I love you despite you showing me the complete opposite?
I feel like love gets presented to people in different ways. So, like, all right, for example, a girl meet a guy, a first guy she met, she might be the drug dealer, and he give her money and stuff, and that's the first guy she ever dealt with. That might be love to her, like him giving her money. Oh, he giving me money, he love me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it all depends on how love presented to you, and also love goes one way sometimes. You get what I'm saying in relationships. Love goes one way. It's like an addiction. Like that one person might not love you anymore, but you can't stop loving that person, or you can't stop grabbing from that disguisement of love. You get what I'm saying? That word disguisement.
It feel like a good word. I think that happens every day. I think it happens every day. And I think it's sad. But then it's a lesson to be learned too. Like, I mean, alright, let's compartmentalize. There are people who've been married for 40, 50 years just on the basis of the potential that they saw in somebody. You know, it might have been an initial love or love that was disguised, or affection that was disguised as love.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times you've been trapped by the potential you saw in somebody, looking past the bad to see the good, and anticipation for change, when experience shows you that it will never happen. You know, repeated offenses show you it will never happen. I think it happens every day. And I think that's kind of the thing that spoils love for a lot of people.
Right.
When they get, they fall into those pitfalls where they see a good package and a lot of benefits, but there's a huge drawback. And you think you can overlook the drawback because there's something good in there, and the promise to change is there. And it's easy to get caught in that kind of cycle, and that's the kind of cycle that hurts you perpetually.
Yeah.
And that's why people fall into when you find somebody with the same archetype of a bad dude or archetype of a bad girl, and you wonder, like, why don't you ever see what's going on in your life? Like, you have an archetype that you like, but there's nothing good in there for you. But they get hoodwinked every time by somebody promising to change how they are, but they knew how they were way before they knew you. And people don't really change like that. So I think that's like an everyday occurrence.
Things don't work out. You might love a person, but you fall out of love with them. You deal with them for so long, and sometimes you forget the reason why y'all came together and loved each other in the first place. Sometimes I just feel like people just go with the flow and deal with a lot of bullshit, especially women. They put up with a lot of bullshit.
Facts.
Honestly, they do love them, but they just want them to be better, be a better person. You know what I'm saying? And I think women, they sacrifice a lot of, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, like, the two of them, they have to come together and work it out in communication. Nothing will change if someone, is like constantly saying over and over again, you need to get your shit together, you know what I'm saying? And he's totally disregarding that, you know? It has to be someone has to be the better person to step up, But like I said, sometimes, you just fall out of love with someone.
I was trying to find this. I don't know if y'all watch Rick and Morty.
The TV, the cartoon?
Yeah. I watched plenty of Rick and Morty. But it was this one. I was looking for the quote, but I couldn't find it. But it was one time where Morty had said, Morty had said to Rick something like, "You don't love me. You just love the person who was willing. Basically, the person who was willing to put up with all your stuff with no reaction. Basically, that's basically what he said." And like, how many times, you know, you have a person put in that kind of predicament, you know, and then, you know, it's validating to see somebody learn from that kind of lesson, but a lot of the time it's like months or years that went, you know, of time that went past that somebody's getting kind of abused.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Emotionally.
Yeah.
So people get over all the time, man. People honestly, they pull fast ones all the time to people who are emotionally over available or trusting.
So, do you guys think that we as men have the ability or the capacity to give unconditional love despite receiving it? Do you think that's like a part of our being? Is that something that we are instinctively able to do? Like, is that something that we go to?
Love
To
unconditionally.
love unconditionally despite not receiving it. So, kind of two parts. One, can we love unconditionally? And then two, can we do it without receiving it?
I think men are infamous for not being able to love unconditionally, which is hard to hear, but I mean, you gotta look at like the facts. Like, how many times do you have a man leaving a wife after 20 plus years of marriage because she stopped taking care of herself, or she put on a little bit of extra weight, or whatever. But I mean, experience will show you that like a woman will stay with a busted man for a long time, and you know.
But you know, there's a lot of bad men out there that can do it wrong.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, whatever the reason may be, but you see those kind of cases. So I don't think men. I think men love with conditions. I love you if you promise that you'll always look like that, or if you're receptive to my commands, or if you're willing to listen to my instruction, or if I don't hear too much talk, I don't want to hear you complaining. I don't want to see you changing your health. You got to stay the same after you have these kids. I need you to be doing work. You can't fall into phases of depression. Our attention span is this big. We like squirrels. Facts though, you know what I'm saying?
That's
I
true.
mean, you gotta look at all of. I'm not gonna say our relationships, but look at the relationships we had up to this point. I'm gonna be the first to say like I left a woman for arbitrary reasons, cause just said something. I don't even know what I said. I just said something. You know, and that's man for you.
I feel like we always need some satisfaction.
Yeah, we need
Like
something.
loving unconditionally is something we have to learn, and I feel like it takes time. Like I feel like it takes years to learn that.
And practice.
Okay. So, I guess one of my reasons for asking you guys that is because I feel like everything that we previously discussed, it all ties together. I feel like women are taught that from their youth how to love unconditionally, and I think they also see that in women, how to love unconditionally. And I think, like you said, the sad truth is that we as men don't do that. We had a separate conversation and we're speaking about, you know, we expect so much from women and provide so little. You know, literally the fact that they have the ability to create life, that alone, I feel like is one remarkable and should be more of a reason why we reciprocate the love that they give. But I would guess my final question would be is how can we as men fix that? When do we learn that? Is there a point where we come to an understanding of how to reciprocate that love? Or if so, what happens that makes us learn that? I know it doesn't just happen overnight. I know it's something that comes with time. But in your opinion, what is something that can help us as men to reciprocate that love?
It all depends on the person, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's different. Like, it just, you know, the person has to be like, you know what, I have to want to make change. Not just for a relationship for myself, you know what I'm saying? They have to want it, you know? Some people don't, and some people do. And sometimes people just get comfortable in that zone, like, you know, I'm just keep doing what I'm going to do. Seeing what you don't care, you know what I'm saying? But they have to want it, you know?
Okay.
Big facts, bro.
Okay.
It's always, and those moments of revelation, they always come after, because we all been in relationships, right?
Right.
And you know, I guess whatever you play around and you have your fun until you come across the wrong one, like that woman who's not finna put up with your trash, and she lets you know from jump, like
You're trash.
you're trash. What you're doing is trash. Like, and I know you up to something.
Right.
And then everybody, like I told Mike in the car, we just rapping about this. Everybody want to feel like the good guy. Constantly, you have that need. It's incessant to feel like the good guy. So you always have an explanation for your actions, or you always want your truth to trump somebody else's truth. You always have an excuse, or whatever. But then you come across that woman who's not trying to hear that. You know, that person who's not interested in hearing no excuses. They ask for something, they expecting a result. You got all the excuses in the world, and you lose her. And then you get that wake up call, like, yo, I really play around too much. And then I think it's at that moment where you start to realize, like, it's nothing good for me out here. I had somebody who was willing to build, you know, who wanted a man, and I approached her like a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, since my experience has always been acceptable,
Yep.
that was gonna fly, and she told you that it's not. And now you walking around like you got dubbed. Your feelings is hurt, but it's really your circumstance, and that's the first time a man realizes I might not be the good guy.
So, from what I'm getting, first off, you gotta want to change. Secondly, our best teachers are women. Women who will not tolerate the typical or lower than what they have set for their standards. And I think another sad part of it, though, is that women love so much that they'll lower the bar. They love so much, they have such a nature to nurture that they will lower the bar just because they think they see potential in you. And there might be potential there, but I think that's also the sad B side of it. You know, they love so hard and so strong that they'll take trash and they'll literally try to mold it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll try to burn it. They'll try to, splice it. They'll try to do anything they can. And the only thing that you're going to get from trash is trash.
Facts.
And that's the sad thing. But that's the truth. So I guess with that being said, man, I appreciate the time. Appreciate y'all brothers coming through the chat. That's part 2 of our 2-part series on love. What is love? Hope you guys got some insights. Hope you guys learned something. Wherever you're watching it, from our living room to yours. Peace out.